How can you save money if you don't even have enough? It's a tough question, but we're here to help. Welcome to a conversation about saving money. It's a topic that often feels out of reach, especially when you're just making enough to get by. We all know that saving is important for emergencies, for future investments, for peace of mind. But how can you possibly save when every penny is accounted for? It's a daunting prospect, yet not an impossible one. Today we're going to explore this very challenge. We'll be discussing strategies, tips and practices that can help you start saving, no matter how small. We'll talk about how little changes can make a big difference, how tracking your expenses can lead to surprising discoveries, and how building habits can set you up for a better future. So stay tuned as we delve into some strategies that can help you save, even when it feels like there's nothing to spare. The first step to saving is focusing on small, consistent changes. This might seem counterintuitive when you're already feeling the financial pinch, but trust me, every little bit counts. You'll be amazed at how these tiny drops can fill up your financial bucket over time. Let's start with something as simple as saving your spare change. Yes, you heard me right. Those coins you might overlook or even discard can play a significant role in bolstering your savings. One fun way to do this is the envelope saving challenge. It's simple yet effective. Just place your spare change in an envelope each day and watch as your savings grow. It's not just about the amount, it's about building the habit of saving, making it a part of your daily routine. Next, let's talk about cutting back on small expenses. Look at your daily life and identify one small thing you can cut back on. Maybe it's that premium coffee you get every morning, or perhaps it's switching from a pricey brand to a more affordable one when grocery shopping. It might seem like you're only saving a few cents or a couple of dollars, but remember, these small amounts add up over time. The key here is consistency. Make these small changes a part of your everyday life, and you'll start to see a difference. It's not about depriving yourself of what you need or love, but finding ways to make smarter choices, to stretch your dollar a bit further. And the great part is, these changes are small enough that they won't feel overwhelming or unachievable. So start today. Save that spare change. Make that small switch. Take that first step. It might seem like a drop in the ocean now, but remember, even the largest oceans are made up of tiny drops. And before long, you'll start to see your drops of change adding up to a sea of savings. Remember, every little bit counts. These small changes can add up over time. You've got this. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Keep going, and you'll see the fruits of your efforts in no time. What's one small expense you think you could cut back on, or a creative way you found to save a little extra each month? Let me know in the comments. Your idea could help others too. Let's support each other on this journey to saving smarter. Now let's talk about the importance of tracking every expense. Imagine you're a detective and each dollar you spend leaves behind a clue. You're piecing together the mystery of where your money goes each month. Sound intriguing? Well, that's exactly what tracking your expenses is all about. By keeping tabs on each purchase, each bill, each dip into your wallet, you're creating a comprehensive picture of your spending habits. And trust me, it can be an eye-opening experience. You might be surprised to find out just how much that daily cup of coffee or those occasional takeout dinners are costing you in the long run. But don't worry, you don't need an accounting degree to do this. You can use a simple notebook, a spreadsheet, or one of the many budgeting apps available today. The key is to record every single expense, no matter how small. Yes, even that pack of gum you bought at the corner store. It all adds up. Now, you might be thinking, but what's the point? I can't really save much. Well, let me tell you, every bit counts. Even if you find a way to save just $1 a day, that's $365 by the end of the year. Not bad for just trimming a little off the top, right? And there's another benefit to this. By tracking your expenses, you're becoming more mindful of your spending. You're less likely to make impulsive purchases when you know you'll have to record them later. It's a small change that can make a big difference. In challenging times, it's crucial to prioritize needs over wants. You see, the line between the two can often blur, making it difficult to differentiate. But let's clear the air. Needs are the essentials for survival, like food, shelter, and healthcare. Wants, on the other hand, are things that enhance our life but aren't strictly necessary, like that brand new smartphone or a luxury vacation. Now, the tricky part is that we sometimes mistake our wants for needs. That morning latte, for instance, may feel like a need, but in reality it's a want. Same goes for the latest fashion trends or the newest gadget on the market. It's not about denying yourself all pleasures, but rather about being mindful of where your money is going. So how do we tackle this? Begin by making a list of your monthly expenses and categorize them into needs and wants. This will give you a clear picture of where your money is going and where you might be able to trim your spending. You might be surprised to find that there are quite a few wants that have sneakily disguised themselves as needs. Now here's where the magic happens. By focusing on your needs first and then considering your wants, you're able to allocate your money more effectively. This doesn't mean you have to cut out all your wants. No, it's about making informed decisions. Maybe you opt for a home-brewed coffee instead of the expensive latte, or perhaps you decide to wait a little longer before upgrading your phone. These small decisions can add up to big savings over time. Remember, every bit counts. It's about building habits. By being mindful of your spending and prioritizing your needs over your wants, you're taking control of your financial situation. And guess what? You've got this. Being mindful of your spending can help you find areas where you can save, even if it's just a little. And remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So, take that first step today. Start distinguishing between your needs and wants, and watch how your savings start to grow. Don't overlook the power of community resources. In our journey to financial stability, sometimes we forget that we're not alone. Our communities, both online and in person, can be a treasure trove of resources that can help ease our financial burdens. Local programs and non-profit organizations often offer assistance with essentials like food, utilities, or clothing. These are not handouts, but rather a helping hand to those who need it. For instance, local food banks can significantly reduce your grocery bill, enabling you to redirect some of your income towards your savings. In addition to food banks, there are also community outreach programs that assist with utility bills. Whether it's a hot summer or a cold winter, these programs can help ensure you have the necessary heating or cooling without breaking your budget. And let's not forget about clothing. Organizations like Goodwill or Salvation Army offer gently used clothing at a fraction of the cost of new items. For families with growing children, this can result in substantial savings. There might also be local community centres that offer free or low-cost activities, which can be a great way to entertain the family without splurging on expensive outings. Online, there are numerous forums and groups where people share tips and resources for saving money. Websites like FreeCycle or Craigslist often have sections where people give away items they no longer need. One person's trash can definitely be another's treasure. Remember, utilising these resources isn't a sign of failure, but rather a smart strategy in managing your finances. Every dollar you can save from your essential expenses is another dollar you can add to your savings. It's about taking advantage of the resources available to you, freeing up a bit of money that you can then set aside, even if it's just a few dollars at a time. Every bit counts, and over time these savings can accumulate and make a real difference. Community resources can provide much-needed relief and help you set aside a little extra for savings. Sometimes a little extra income can make a big difference. It's a simple truth that can provide a glimmer of hope in challenging financial times. We're not talking about winning the lottery here, but rather finding small, feasible ways to supplement your income, which can help you save more without stretching your budget too thin. Let's start with something you might not have considered. Selling items you no longer need. We all have things gathering dust in our homes that we've outgrown, forgotten, or simply don't use anymore. These could be clothes, electronics, books, or furniture. Selling these items online or at a yard sale can not only declutter your space, but also put some extra cash in your pocket. Remember, one person's trash is another person's treasure. Next, how about completing surveys? Yes, you heard it right. There are numerous online platforms that pay for your opinion. It might not make you a millionaire overnight, but it can be a simple way to earn a little extra, bit by bit. Plus, it's something you can do in your spare time, from the comfort of your home. Then there are odd jobs. These could include things like mowing lawns, babysitting, dog walking, or even running errands for your neighbors. It might seem like small potatoes, but these tasks can be a viable source of supplemental income. Plus, they can often be done on your own schedule, making them a flexible option if you're already juggling other responsibilities. In the grand scheme of things, these ideas might seem small, and they are. But remember, the objective is not to make a fortune overnight, but rather to find manageable ways to boost your income, even if it's just by a little. The idea is that every little bit counts, and over time these small amounts can add up to something more substantial. So, take a moment to consider, what small actions could you take today to earn a little extra? Remember, it doesn't have to be monumental. The key is consistency, persistence, and a little creativity. Every little bit of extra income can help boost your savings one step at a time. Automation can be your best friend when it comes to saving. Now, you may be wondering, how can automation help me save money? Well, let me tell you about a little trick some banks offer. It's called rounding up purchases, and it's a nifty way to save without even realizing it. Here's how it works. Imagine you're buying a cup of coffee for $2.75. Your bank will round up this purchase to $3. That extra 25 cents? It's automatically transferred into your savings account. Now I know what you're thinking. 25 cents? That's not a lot of money. And you're right, it's not. But remember, every bit counts. And this isn't about the amount you're saving each time, it's about the habit you're building. Just think about it. Every time you make a purchase, you're also saving. It's like a little pat on the back, a small reward for your day-to-day spending. And the best part? You don't have to do anything. It's all automatic. This tiny automation can add up over time without you having to think about it. It's almost like finding spare change in your couch cushions or in your coat pocket. It's a small but pleasant surprise, and before you know it, those tiny savings have grown into a tidy sum. But here's the kicker. Not all banks offer this feature. So it's worth taking a moment to check if your bank does. And if they don't, maybe it's time to consider a switch. After all, why not let your bank do some of the heavy lifting for you? Remember, every little bit helps. And with this automatic roundup feature, you can start saving without even trying. And that's the beauty of automation. It's effortless, it's consistent, and it's a step towards building a strong saving habit. Automating your savings can help you save without even thinking about it. It's a small step, but as we've seen, small steps can lead to big changes. So why not give it a try? Saving isn't just about the amount, it's also about building habits. Imagine just a single dollar saved each week. It might seem like a minuscule amount, almost like a drop in the ocean. But it's not the dollar that matters, it's the act itself. The habit of saving, even if it's just a tiny bit, is the cornerstone you're laying for a more secure financial future. Now consider this. If you're able to save just $1 a week, that's $52 a year. Over 5 years, you're looking at $260. Now that's not so minor, is it? And remember, this is just a starting point. As your financial situation improves, you'll have the habit in place to save more. Creating a savings habit is like building a muscle. It might be challenging at first, but with consistency and time, it will grow stronger. Remember, every bit counts. It's about building habits. You've got this. So, how can you save money if you don't even have enough? It starts with small steps. We've looked at a few strategies today that could help you start saving, even when it feels like there's nothing left to spare. The key is to focus on small, consistent changes. Save your spare change if you can. Cut back on one small expense and track every dime you spend. It's empowering to know exactly where your money goes. Prioritize your needs over wants and seek out community resources to help with essentials. Consider ways to boost your income, even if they're small, and if you can, automate tiny savings. Above all, remember that saving is about building habits. Even if you can only put aside $1 a week, you're making progress. Remember, you've got this. Every bit counts, and it's about building habits. Start small, and you'll see progress over time.